Hi, 7th graders. So for this week, the week of January 13th through the 20th, what we're going to be looking at is taking your vocabulary words from your weekly Learn a New Word activity, and we've created a class list. The list has 13 words. Last week I had asked you to share with me your favorite vocabulary word, and thank you, Isabella, for the word solace. That's been added to our list. So we have 13 words that were selected by students, and this is a list that we're going to be working with every week. We're going to be doing a wide variety of activities. We're going to be doing word games because I think it's important that we have a common vocabulary to share so that we can talk about vocabulary strategies. We can talk about Latin and Greek roots. We can talk about prefixes and suffixes. So we can really attack word study skills having a similar group of words. So on this video, you're going to see the words that we selected for this class's activity, for this class's list. And for each word, there are some things that I'm going to ask you to do just to brainstorm and to get you comfortable making connections between new words and things that you already know. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pronounce each word. We'll go through the definition, and then we'll look at the part of speech. And then we're going to talk about the things that I want you to do to try and start building a connection between the new word and things that you already know. So on this page, we have the word solace. It's pronounced solace. And the definition is a source of comfort or consolation. Consolation means a way that you make somebody feel better. And the word is a noun. So in this particular word, what I want you to think about is I want you to list on your page 2 things that you might do to offer someone solace during a difficult time. And for each of these, I'm giving an example. So in the case of like a death of the family, you might send a condolence card, or you might give somebody a hug. So in the space provided, right in here, what I want you to do is list 2 things that you might do to offer someone solace when they are facing a difficult time. The next word is geranium. It has 2 meanings. So geranium can be a vivid red color. If you were an artist and you were using a red paint, you might find a geranium red paint in your palette. The other common definition, it is an annual flower of that color. And the word geranium is also a noun. For the word geranium, I want you to list 2 things that are geranium red. So you might need to do a little research to find out what that red looks like. So list 2 things that are geranium red. And then I also want you to add a picture of an actual red geranium flower to this section. Our next word is lark. It's any numerous, chiefly old word oscene, and I had to do some homework because I did not know the word oscene. Oscene means songbird. So any numerous, chiefly old world oscene bird. It is a noun. And what I want you to do for the word lark is I want you to think of 2 other kinds of songbirds that are like larks. Think about the songbirds that you hear their song maybe at your bird feeder, typical birds found in Maine. And then I also want you to find a picture of a lark and add it to this section. Next, we have the word deprivation. Deprivation means having lack of something you need. Not stuff you want, but the stuff that you actually need. And it is also a noun. So for this word, I want you to list 2 things that cause deprivation or give 2 examples of deprivation. So here's an example. Sleep deprivation. That's an example of when a mother has a newborn baby often and just doesn't get any sleep. So she is sleep deprived, which is a form of the word deprivation. Next, we have the word muddled, meaning feeling confused mentally, and it is an adjective. For muddled, I want you to list 2 examples of things that make you feel muddled. So for me, in high school geometry class, totally muddled, feeling confused every minute of every day that I was in that class. Next, we have the word debris. Even though it looks like debris, it's debris. It is a noun, meaning pieces of rubbish or garbage. And I want you to list 2 things that cause debris. For an example, an explosion would cause debris. So next we have murmur. It is a noun or a verb, so there can be a murmur, or you can murmur yourself. So the definition is a low or indistinct sound or speech, and again, it's a noun or verb. Synonyms we talked about might be mumble or whisper. So I want you to list 2 reasons people might murmur. So for example, we've seen it since kindergarten. Kids put their hand right in front of their mouth, kind of make a little fence, and they kind of whisper behind their hand. That example would be like spreading gossip. You might murmur or use a low voice when you are spreading gossip. Next, we have the word scrutinize. It means to examine carefully, and it is a verb. What I want you to do for scrutinize is list 2 tools you might use to scrutinize something, anything. And an example of something you might use to scrutinize might be a magnifying glass. Next, we have the word togetherness. The definition is the state of being close to another person or other people, and it is a noun. For togetherness, I want you to list 2 occasions where you commonly experience togetherness, where you are close to other people. So the example I've given is perhaps at a funeral. Next, absent-mindedly. It's an adverb, and adverbs tell you how things were done. So it's an adverb that tells that you are so lost in thought that one does not realize what one is doing or what is happening. So I want you to think of 2 things that you do absent-mindedly. So for example, for me, I'm always putting my glasses someplace without paying attention, and then I lose them. I might put them on the kitchen counter one day, I might put them on the bathroom sink. So it's things that I do when I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. So list 2 things that you do absent-mindedly. Our next word is ludicrous, meaning ridiculous, and it's an adjective. It means things that are totally foolish or silly. So I want you to list 2 things that are ludicrous. And for me, I'm thinking of Halloween costumes for pets. My dogs and cats don't put up with it. It's kind of silly. They may make you laugh, but they make you laugh because they're ludicrous. Next, we have harbor. A sheltered expanse of water adjacent. Adjacent means next to. Adjacent to land in which ships may dock. So think of a place, a city or a town that has a harbor, a place where ships can come in and out. And I want you to list 2 places that have a harbor, so do some research. The example that I've given is Portland, Maine has a great fishing harbor. And our last word is replenish. It means to make full and complete again. It is a verb. It's something that you do. So I want you to list 2 things that you need to replenish after they are empty. For example, when I run out of gas in my car, I have to replenish it or I'm not going anywhere. So in this lesson, you're going to find the word list as a document. And then after watching this video, go in and follow the directions and complete list the 2 different things that I want you to do for each word, and then send it to me back in Google Classroom. So have some fun with this. This is list 1.